Virtual Learning Project, 5th grade math. You have been given an opportunity to create and plan aspects of your own city. Look at the choice board below and select two activities you would like to do. Directions. Student will select two activities to complete for their project. You will click on the description to be taken to the project. So this is the description. It'll take you to the project where it explains in detail where it is. There are 4 projects to choose from. You will select 2 of those. The first one is the community cookbook. Student will create a recipe to be included in the new community cookbook. You can click here for the activity, but I will go ahead and bring it up and read the activity for the community cookbook for you later. Purchasing playground equipment. Using a budget, student will design a playground for the new community. Population planning. Student will plan resources for their community based on their population sizes. So you're planning different resources, things to help the community based on the size of the community, the population, or how many people that live in that community. Design a playground using coordinate planes. Students will use a coordinate plane to design the layout for their playground. So you use a coordinate plane to design the layout for your playground. These are the resources in Spanish. This is for your parents, for students who speak primarily Spanish, that you can read the same instructions but in Spanish. These are the rubrics for the Math Dream City. And the math rubric continues. So you have the beginning, developing, proficient, and distinguished, depending upon your level of completion. Now next, I'm going to read the individual projects for you. The first project is the community cookbook. So it reads, the newly elected mayor of your brand new city has decided to come to you for some help. As a way of welcoming the new citizens of the city, the mayor wants to put together a community cookbook. The mayor wants something that is representative of everyone's heritage and culture. Your background, where you're from, what does that represent? So the mayor is asking you that you select at least one dish you would like to add to the cookbook. So you'll select one dish. This one of your favorite dishes that you eat all the time, that your mom makes, your grandmother makes, that you would like to add to the cookbook. The mayor wants something that can be cooked at home. And because of that, it has to be an accurate recipe. That means you can really make this something we can really make. When we put together a cookbook, other people, other students or teachers can actually make this recipe. It is accurate. So using various measuring tools, create the recipe you would like to share in the cookbook. Your recipe can be something for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or dessert, whatever your favorite meal is. If I were doing it, I would be making breakfast because that's my favorite meal. Your recipe must include the title of your recipe, the heading, which also includes how much the recipe makes, how long the recipe takes, how long does it take to cook, to make from beginning to end, how many people. How much the recipe makes is how many people does it serve. Is it for a family of 4, for one person, 2 people, or more? Introduction to the recipe, ingredients list, materials list. What are the materials? Detailed steps listed as a procedure. So you're telling me exactly how to make this. Also include photos or illustrations, pictures, images, showing us what it looks like. Include any tips, note, or safety instructions. If you had to handle knives, or if you're cooking on the stove, how to be careful to ensure safety of everyone. Part two of this, the mayor has invited you to cook one of your dishes for the community welcome fiesta. The mayor is asking that you cook the dish for at least 40 people. How can you scale your recipe to make it for enough people? Think of what we did with scaling recipes. So this is your standard MGSE5 NF5. So this is Mr. McClure's example. This is what he did. Here's an example recipe I have included. You do not need to make this recipe. You are making your own. Mr. McClure included this as an example of the project of how it will look in the end. The title of Mr. McClure's recipe is My Sunday Family Gumbo. The heading is serve 6 to 10 people. Prep time 20 minutes. That means it took 20 minutes to get it all ready and put together. Cook time 4 hours. That's how long it took to actually cook the dish. Once he's got through and preparing it, put it all together in a pot or pan and started cooking it. And you can serve it with white rice. Introduction to the recipe. This is my family's Sunday gumbo recipe. Ever since I was young, my dad always made this gumbo recipe. During the cold winter nights in Pennsylvania, this southern soup was warm and comforting. Although the recipe has a long cook time, the best part is once you get it on the stove, it slowly cooks for most of its cook time. This slightly spicy soup is perfect for a cold, sunny night, and it is delicious with some plain rice. Ingredients list. So Mr. McClure went down to list all of the ingredients that he needs in his recipe. Notice his units of measurement. 1 pound of boneless skin chicken thighs, right? 1 medium. He has 4 cloves of garlic, 3/4 of a cup, 1 tablespoon. Those are all units of measurement that we use in studying in math. 3 cups of water, 1 tablespoon, 1 and 1/2. So those are units of measurement. Next is his materials list. These are the things that he needed, all the things that he needed to make his gumbo. So he's using everything from the cutting board where you place on the counter, the measuring cup so you can measure accurately, to the spoons, the gloves. If you have a knife or sharp object that can cause danger, please ask your parents for help. This is his procedure, and this is where you'll put the steps of making your recipe. So it says disclaimer, parents are to assist child with any recipe they choose to make. You do not need to make Mr. McClure's gumbo recipe. Once again, parents, have your parents help you with this, assist any recipe to make. You do not need to make this one. You're creating your own. You can be using your family's recipe. You wash your hands with warm soapy water for 2 minutes first. And make sure your hands are clean so you will not contaminate anything. Step 1. So he listened to his steps. The first thing he did here, you want to do is chop all of your vegetables and place them in a bowl. Start with the onions, celery, and peppers. Chop each vegetable into bite-sized pieces. Then it has a picture attached. It says, see picture. It goes on to step 2. When you're done with that, put on your gloves to cut the jalapeno. Remove the stems and seeds to keep the spice level down. So he's telling you that's a tip because jalapenos are hot, spicy. The stems and seeds make the jalapeno spicy. You use a glove so that the spiciness, the jalapeno, the seeds, the spice doesn't get on your fingers. And you can just throw the glove away. So if you touch your mouth or something, it will be very hot. So he has a picture attached. He goes on to list all of his steps, each step in the process. From also to adding all his measurements, units of measurements, all the way down to step 16, when you finally add in your chicken thighs, your thyme, salt, pepper, and bay leaves. He has 20 steps. When you make it, and finally, when he's ready to serve, how long it takes before the gumbo is made. Step 19, to serving it. Ladle your gumbo into a bowl and serve with rice and enjoy a ladle or to scoop with a dipper or ladle. Whether it is a cold winter night or rainy Sunday, this soup is perfect to warm you up. It is a good soup for all to enjoy. So the part two of this, if my recipe serves 10 people, how much will I have to multiply my ingredients by to get 40 people? Each ingredient quantity should be multiplied by 4. So in your ingredients, if you need 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, you have to multiply that by 4. You have to do the same thing, 3/4 times 4, a fraction times a whole number. So you have to multiply all of your ingredients times 4 to get the amount you need to serve 40 people. Additional assignment notes. Now, it is your turn to create your own recipes to add to the cookbook. Parents, please assist your child with a recipe or dish. Your child may want to watch you cook the dish and they write down the steps to make it. Or your child may want to assist. Please try to be as accurate as possible. You'll give your child good estimates or measurements. Finally, if possible, your child may want to submit photos for this assignment. Although a photo is not mandatory, the student may draw illustrations instead. Please be willing to share in the experience. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any of your math teachers. And these are the pictures of all the materials, the items that he needs, what it looks like. You don't have to have this exact setup, but he's kind of showing the ingredients, the steps that he's using to cook. And this is the end result. This is how it will be served. Now your second option, you only have to do 2. Remember, you can choose whichever one you would like. Playground equipment. So purchasing playground equipment. The mayor of Dream City has hired you to create a playground for children 0 to 12 years of age. So approximately for our population in Dresden. The city is giving you $150,000 to buy equipment for this playground. Below, you will find playground pieces. Make your selection based on these pieces. You will be given a budget sheet to help you not exceed $150,000. You must buy at least one theme park, a shelter, park benches, and individual pieces. You must purchase multiples of some items that many people may enjoy using. Make your park a place where children want to go. Name the city park and tell why you chose that name. So in your project, you need to have the name of your park and why you chose that name. Theme park selection. That's the items right here. What is the park? What type of playground equipment do you want? The shelter, park benches, and extra equipment. So these is the prices. You have $150,000. So you have the theme equipment. Which one of these do you want? Then you'll select the playground equipment. Which one of these would you want? So you have those. You have your park shelters. So if your family wants to sit, if you're having a picnic, maybe get out the sun or the rain, you have your options of park shelters. The table benches for people to sit down in the park to just enjoy the breeze, to watch the kids play, to relax, listen to the birds, watch the butterflies. You also have playground equipment. So these there's the things, additional things that the children may enjoy playing with. So you select one of these. Okay. You also have climbing ladders, jungle gyms. So remember, you only have $150,000 to select, to spend. So you cannot go over 150. This is your order form. Use this form to make your order. After selecting the item and total price, subtract it from the balance to show a running total of the amount left. See example. So you have your playground equipment. You purchase your item